Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of Evan's Game Plan podcast. We're here with Brooklyn Smith, future sports psychologist. Oh, wrong one, but that's okay.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm great.
You're great?
Yeah.
So what is the definition of sports psychology in your own terms?
In my own terms, like sports psychology is basically the mental health of people and athletes specifically. Like I really want to work with athletes. So sports psychology is like what goes on in their mind as an athlete because it's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's different from everyday people, you know?
Yeah.
So how do you think that mental health ties into people's peak performance as an athlete?
Because if you are not mentally 100%, you're never physically 100%.
Right.
Because they connect to each other.
Yeah.
So, like, when you're not confident in yourself and you're not feeling good, well, then obviously you're not going to go out there and play 100% because you
don't even believe in yourself. Yeah, exactly. It's like look good, feel good. You ever heard that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's like a prime motto right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So what made you want to start studying sports psychology?
Okay, so it's kind of not the greatest story, but so I started playing club volleyball when I was like 14. It was in, I want to say 8th grade is when I started playing club volleyball.
Yes.
And I started out on the lowest team. That was the 14th team. But I had a really bad coach.
Yeah.
And very mentally tore us down. Like, not just me, but, like, multiple players. Like, and it was bad. Yeah. It was really bad.
I mean, people don't realize how big of an impact coaches have. Really? Like, a good coach can either set you up for life and bring you places and teach you not only the sport, but, like, morals and stuff, too. But a bad coach can break all those things down for you.
Yeah.
Having Fike on, this podcast really taught me that, like, a good coach can bring you further than just sports. Yeah. But bad coaches could even do worse.
Yeah, and it affected, like, my confidence as a person, like, not just within the sport, but especially in the sport. And then that ended up being my coach for the next year.
Oh, wow.
So I had 2 years of, like, mentally draining myself as an athlete, killing my confidence. Like, it was like I was taking, like, 1 step forward and 3 steps back, like, constantly. Yeah. It was a cycle. And so that really impacted, like, my mental health. And I saw how it impacted other people's mental health. And I've seen in so many, like, not just in my place, but, like, in, like, college, like, D1 teams where, like, the athletes are mentally struggling, like, due to their coaches.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it's talked about enough. And so I want to be one of those people that advocate for those athletes because I know what it feels like to be struggling mentally.
That's great.
As an athlete.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you have had your own experience with it, and want to carry it on. That's great. I'm sorry that you had that experience, but I think sort of things kind of happen for a reason.
Yeah, it definitely made me who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And that showed you where you wanted to go in life.
It did.
People always talk about in sports like, oh, like a sprained ankle, he can't play, or like a broken arm or anything worse. But nobody really talks about, if you get in your own head and how important mental health is over physical health. How do you think those things tie into each other?
Like, I think playing sports is like 90% mental.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a big number.
Yeah, you have to be physically well, obviously, and that's what that 10% is. But if you are in your head, you will never play to your 100% full potential. And I believe that.
With tennis, like, because, I'm on a tennis team.
I do know
and
that.
Luke is also on the tennis team. Luke told me that you have to have, like, a fish memory to play tennis. You just have to be able to go out there. If you mess up, you got to forget it. Yeah. Because if you get in your own head, you're just going to suck,
Yeah.
And that's DJ as well. When I had DJ on, he's talking about next play mentality, Yes. When you mess up, you got to just go on to the next play. Yeah. But that's harder than that's easier said than done,
It really is. Like, you have to hone that skill.
Yeah.
Like, that is something, and it's not something that's taught to you.
No. You can't teach that.
You kind of have to figure it out, and that's why I want to be, like, a sports psychologist, because then you give them ways to move on.
Yeah, that coaches could not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like the head coach, and they're the physical coach. You're the head coach. Yeah, I think that's really cool.
exactly what it is, basically.
So, what made you? Oh, sorry, we already asked that. So, what motivates you as a sports psychologist? You know?
Just seeing, like, my peers,
Yeah.
myself, seeing that it's a continuous thing, and seeing how much it's not talked about.
Yeah.
Like, wait. Okay. Like, seeing how much it's just not something that people express.
Yeah.
It's something that people don't feel free enough to talk about.
Right.
Like, that really is my motivation to, like, I want to be one of the people in the world that advocate and give people a safe space to talk about their mental health. Because, you know, like, for the longest time, it was a big thing for, like, you know, the whole tough guy thing, like,
yeah, oh yeah,
suck it up and move
oh my
on.
gosh,
But,
that's
like,
still, I mean, that's still sort of the standard
exactly.
for males in sports is to rub some dirt on it, you know, and then just go move on past it. When I mean, women too, you know, we all have feelings, you know, and we all, no matter how much you want to bottle them up, eventually they're going to come out, and especially on the court, that can lead to lashing out or making a bad play or tons of things.
Yeah. And I want to be part of, like, the generation that's helping openly push that conversation that not everyone is always going to be okay.
Yeah. I really agree with you, because, I mean, that whole standard of hiding your feelings as a man and having to put them away, that's affected me a lot just as a person a lot, because I'm, like, a really expressive kind of person, you know. Yeah. I say a lot and I do a lot, and it's really easy for me to show my feelings. So it's almost like that vulnerability is sort of just made fun of now instead of actually being accepted or looked at or anything. Yeah. So I think that, you know, having therapists or psychologists in general being more popularized is a huge step for humanity. For sure. First of all, just that whole culture actually being implemented into the youth, and you see more kids having therapists, and you see more kids actually getting help and counselors in schools and stuff. So bringing that next step into sports is such a huge thing for the world and for the youth, I think. Mm-hmm. So why do you think that it could help Red Bank High School?
I think that it could help Red Bank because, you know, it's my starting point. Like, because I'm starting out, you know, with the teams here, like specifically like the spring sports teams. Like, I'm trying to implement some things and, like, gauge where, like, some of our teams are at so that I know how to help them. Yeah. And, like, kind of, like, implement some of those ideas, like motivation, goal setting, confidence. Yeah. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. Like, I'm starting here, and that will, no matter what, like, no matter where I go, it's always going to be my starting point. Yeah. And
this is going to be what taught you how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's my starting place. It's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, where do you see yourself?
Okay, so that's kind of a hard question because I see myself going in multiple directions right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay.
Obviously, I really want to be a sports psychologist.
Right.
But it's very often for people who want to be in sports psychology to, like, start their own practice. Yeah. Like, it's a lot easier to just start your own practice and have your own business and where you're doing that. Yeah. So that kind of scares me a lot. I can't even lie to you. Like,
really?
Yeah.
I feel like you, like, with the event planning and everything, you kind of have a good skill in that.
Well, like, just in general, like, forging my own path is something that's really scary for me.
Yeah, and especially something that needs a lot of dictatorship, like something that you really need to lead.
Yeah. And I feel like I can lead. It's just I am really fearful of how everything's going to turn out. Yeah. I'm a very plan-oriented person. Like, I need the details. I need a plan. I need a step-by-step.
Right, yeah.
And when you're forging your own plan, like, you don't have that.
No, you have to make it. Yeah. Right.
And that's the part that I'm like, oh, okay.
Super worried about. Yeah. I mean, hey, I understand that. I mean, it's hard to just start something. Yeah. No help at all. So that's the only sort of concern you have with sports psychology, or is there any more that you're kind of like, this could be hard?
That's kind of my biggest concern, because anything else, like, I feel like I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I can put the work in to be where I want to be. I'm passionate about it. It's something I love. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's something that I can really get through the hard stuff to do. Yeah. And I'm excited. Like, yeah, I think it's going to be tricky. I think because you have to go really far, and I think you have to do a lot of school.
Oof.
I'm going to have to get my PhD most likely, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's fine because I feel like I can do it.
I think you can too. Oh my gosh, what is this?
Oh
Whoa,
my gosh,
it's our Roar Store order.
Surprises.
Asher, Bell, and Alora are great deliverers. Thank you so much, Asher. Thank you so much, Alora.
You guys did awesome.
You guys, shout out.
Much.
Thank you. Come on down.
Yes.
Mocha cold brew. Thank you guys. Yeah, we now have
mocha.
coffees in the Roar Store along with smoothies. You can order. We actually have a new link. There will be a video posted about the new link soon.
It smells good.
It's great. Thank you guys.
I smelled it first.
Oh, that's actually great.
No, that's actually
It's actually really good.
Okay.
Like, it's actually really good.
No, I love that.
So the Roar Store is a sponsor of Evan's Game Plan, a new sponsor, you know, if you've seen the smoothie episode with Asher. So thank you guys so much for sponsoring the show. You know, you can get any sorts of snacks, drinks, anything you really need to get you through the school day at the Roar Store. Go to the new link. It'll be posted soon. And yeah, let's continue.
Hey.
So do you think that all sports need a sports psychologist? Do you think they could all use one? Or, I mean, yes, that's the question. And also, which ones do you think need a sports psychologist the most?
I do think that all of sports need a sports psychologist because I feel like all sports have a mental side.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they
even
all
like
take mental
rugby or golf, you know what I'm saying? No hate, but like there's so much that goes into everything, honestly. Coming on this podcast is a mental thing. Going out and going to school is a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? I think everything in general sort of has mental ties to it. And if you get your own head doing anything, cooking, talking to somebody, going out, if you get in your head doing anything, you're going to mess it up.
Yeah, and it's your mindset. Like, it's always your mindset.
100%.
Some people don't always grow up being taught how to have a growth mindset or a positive mindset or how to move past mistakes. Like, not all people are taught that.
No.
And I want to be somebody who teaches people that who maybe didn't know that as they were growing up because there aren't always those people out there. Yeah,
and it's not like not taught, and it's I'm glad that it's getting modernized sort of to have a good mindset and to actually be positive more.
Yes.
Because a few years ago, you were out here frolicking through the fields, you'd get made fun of, you know? Mm-hmm. If you were like, it's like people will make fun of you for anything. So I'm glad that bully culture is sort of diminishing.
Yes.
And we're actually, you know, getting a new sign from the youth. Like people like you know, that actually want to make a difference with mental health and stuff. And I don't know, it's just very inspiring to just me that it's actually changing, you know?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's definitely a new chapter where the standards are changing for mental health. It's being talked about more. It's being more freely, like, you can express yourself without feeling judged as much. Like, obviously, there's always going to be the haters.
It still exists.
I definitely think we're turning onto a new chapter where it matters more.
Yeah, of course, and it's not as looked down upon as it was before.
Exactly.
There's plenty of examples in sports, like Simone Biles in 2020 Olympics. She went off of the Olympics because due to mental health issues.
Exactly.
There's this NBA player, his name's Markelle Fultz, and he was one of the biggest draft prospects. He got drafted and he sucked his first year because he got in his own head. He forgot how to shoot the ball. Like it's Ben Simmons. That's another NBA player. He played for Philadelphia. Again, one of the best draft prospects. He ended up sitting 3 years of his career because he just wasn't there in his head.
Yeah.
I think that mental health just isn't talked about enough in the sports world because there's too many other things that go on, you know? There's performance, there's, you know, your body, you know, there's scoreboard, you know, there's so much more that goes on into sports that people kind of forget about the mental side of it.
I think so too. And I also think that within sports in general, like, there's definitely a new chapter happening there too.
Oh, yeah.
Where mental health is also talked about and
more
it's
prioritized. Yeah, and it opens up your job a little more, you know.
It does.
So that's good.
That's also very helpful, very exciting. And like thinking about it now, like as we progress and we go to college and like all these things, like it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You're going to have so many more opportunities when you get to college and even further past that, that it's going to become easier and easier over the years, hopefully, as this culture grows.
Yeah. And I think it'll definitely grow. Like,
I
don't see it going backwards. Like,
me neither.
I don't.
No, not at all. I mean, I pray that it doesn't. I really hope that it doesn't.
No, that would actually be a disaster if
I think
it did. But
things like this are the reason we're having steps forward, Same. Do you have any, inspirations for sports psychology? Do you know any?
No? Honestly.
Really?
No.
Like, you just kind of wanted to?
Yeah. I kind of came up with this all on my own, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, this is, sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're fine.
And from what I know about you, this is sort of a newer dream.
Yeah.
A newer goal. You had one before. You wanted to, what did you want to do? Event planning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was event planning. And that's because I like to direct. I like to, like, kind of just be the person that's making sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think that was my passion.
Right.
Like, I felt passionately about it, but that wasn't
you think that you would be the best at that, but not the most passionate sort of thing.
Yeah.
I totally get that. And I think I think that's a great thing to push. I mean, there's people that will go to college for something that they just want money. They just want to work, and they choose money over passion.
Yeah. And I believe, like, if you do a job that you truly, like, love, you'll never actually
your life is complete. You're never working
a day in your life,
right?
Because you love what you're doing.
But it's so hard to be young and to be able to find that.
Yeah.
Because just 2 years ago, you wanted something different.
Like, I didn't even know what I wanted.
Right.
To
So Brooklyn, think about the next 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could change again. It's so hard, being young and having passion for so many things and wanting to not have to be at a job you hate, not have to do this, but it's so hard to figure out,
It is. It definitely is. Like, you really have to hone into what you're passionate about and what you're not.
Yeah.
But I genuinely do think it should always be something you're passionate about and not something you're doing either for somebody else or because that's what you're getting money from. Told you're good at, or that's what gives you the most money.
Yeah.
Because you could have all the money in the world, but what is that going to mean if you're not happy?
Right. I totally agree. I mean, last year I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't really have like a purpose in the this whole space, you know what I'm saying, until I got the podcast.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that motivated me to, I want to be on the news now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that experiences in your life cause growth. Like, you had a bad coach, and that led you to want to be a sports psychologist. I was given the opportunity to have a podcast, and now it makes me want to go be on the news,
Yeah.
I think that things like that sort of happen for a reason.
And, like, that's what the human experience is all about. Like, everything that happens in our life, like, shapes our experiences. Yep. And everybody's experience is different.
It's different.
And I think that's so cool. Like, everybody figures everything out, like, differently, and I love that.
It's great. We could grow up the exact same way in the exact same house, live in 2 different rooms, and have a completely different upbringing.
Exactly.
And we'd come and we'd tell different stories about what happened. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody has their own path and experience, and there's so many bad things that happen to people and that have happened to me, you, everybody, but those things, shape you to who you are now. And I think that's my favorite thing about being a person, is that things affect, like, it's sort of like failing forward. Bad things happen or good things happen that make you end up where you are now.
For sure.
If you think about it, you never really make a mistake.
No. I think everything happens for a reason. I think it's important to reflect. I think that's something that people forget to do, is reflect on where you're at and where you've been.
Give yourself a time, a day, to actually think about where you are, because life moves really fast,
and
especially when you're
busy.
busy.
Part of, like, being a sports psychologist, like, you have to reflect.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Like, where are you at right now, and, like, where do you want to be, and, like, just taking the time to just really hone in on yourself.
Yeah.
And like really, evaluate yourself.
Sports go so fast. Like if you're a football player, practice, games, and then you have like it could be going to the championship, you could be doing this, you could be doing that, basketball, practice, this, that, state. Right, conditioning, exactly. It moves so fast and all you're focused on is your craft. So that's like, and having someone who can actually slow you down and sort of be your safe place can be huge. And I never, like, you kind of just gave me an epiphany. That's huge. Like, that's actually huge for, like, athletes. Because I know how, this is my first high school sport. I've played basketball outside of, like, Red Bank and I did soccer. Like, I've played sports, but this is my first in-school sport. So it's a lot. Yeah. It really is. I'm only playing tennis. But I've practiced, like, 4 days a week. Have a match, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just it's a lot, and it moves very fast.
I think it's a lot, like, no matter who you are or what you're doing, like, I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't take that into consideration with how that affects you mentally, and especially if you're new to whatever it may be, they don't think about how that transition may be rough for you.
Yeah, and especially when you're new, like me in tennis, all I want to do is get good. All I want to do is play tennis. Like, literally, I go home and I'm thinking about tennis. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you are put into something new like that you want to do, that you're passionate about, that's all you can think about.
Yeah.
And it's all you want to do. So there's no time, like, for like people or me to slow down and sort of think about it,
And, like, that's what I want to be. I want to be the person that, like, you sit and you slow down. And then, like, I want to teach people how to do that on their own. Yeah. Like, for them to learn how to sit down on their own and, like, take the time.
That's sort of the key to everything. To make like, that's the point of teaching, is for people to be able to do it on their own. Owning a business, you want to be able to one day step away from it and let it run itself. Yeah. And that's just, and yours is just it's so tied into lifestyle. It's going to be really important. So, yeah, sports psychology. It's really cool. Yeah. I'm glad you're doing it. I think it's really cool.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're going to go into a game that I like to call Music Match.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to show you a series of pictures, and you're going to think of a song that go with it. You've seen this.
Okay.
So let's start with a good one.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Here.
Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure this was this year.
Mm-hmm. You just got to tell me the story behind it, then a song that lines with it.
Okay. So this was this year. It was a very exciting year because I actually felt like, okay, like, I'm a little bit older now.
Yeah.
Like, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And, like, we actually got to take, like, good pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was, like, our first actual kind of, like, important Red Bank, like, based media day.
Yeah.
So, and I was in there with Violet and Jayliana, and we were having the time of our life.
I seen a picture of y'all three together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Loki, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the song, but it's like, no, Good Days by SZA.
Good Days by SZA. Dude, love SZA.
That's the song that I think of. Like, I was actually genuinely happy in this.
That's good to hear.
No, I was. Like, it's not a fake smile.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. Okay, on to the next. I got these from Violet, so don't.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's a picture.
That is a picture. So, coming home from a tournament last year, Violet rode with us. She sat in the back seat.
I can tell.
I kind of was just, I don't know. I just was just there.
Yeah. Looks like it.
I was just there.
Yeah.
And, I was just curious. I was like, what are you doing back there? So I just kind of looked, and there she was.
With a camera in your face.
No, literally. No, I think it's like one of the TikTok songs. Like, I think of like the little like, I don't even know what it's called, but the little like, doo,
yeah.
doo, like that little like weird.
Yeah, like the background noise.
Song.
Yes,
yeah.
I see that too.
That's what I think about.
Perfect. That's perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Next one.
Let's see what else you got.
Oh, well, that's not the time, but still, it's okay. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
So, next. It's a good one.
Oh, it's just me and Violet. Volleyballing again.
Mm-hmm. Volleyballing, is that what you call it?
In this picture, with this situation.
You're volleyballing.
We're volleyballing.
Wow.
Yes, we are.
Amazing.
I think this was sophomore year.
Sophomore year?
I think this was that last year. I don't think this was junior year. Yeah. And I think this was like very early on in the season. So we were very excited, like very sparky.
Yeah.
Like, woo, yay, new season.
Optimistic.
This was a very happy time of life. It was warm outside. We were playing volleyball.
Wow. Volleyballing.
Yes.
Volleyballing in the sun.
Yes. And it was so happy because it wasn't cold and it was just good. So let me think of a song. I can think of an artist better than I can think of a song.
I mean, think of an artist and the first song that comes to your head.
Because in my head, because I do this often, like I actually think about songs that I would match with
a picture? Me too.
Often.
Yeah.
And so I think about probably, I want to say like Noah Khan.
Noah Khan?
That's what I think.
Yeah. He made Stick Season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that also reminds me of Violet. So like those things go together.
Okay, this is a throwback.
Oh!
That's like throwback.
That was
like
really, really throwback.
Yeah.
Like really, really, really throwback. Honestly, it was really cold.
Yeah, what was going on?
And we went to the Titans.
This is really where it all started, though.
It really is.
This is
it's
like,
crazy where we're at now.
Right?
Like
seeing, I don't know, the SMS, like come from this to this.
I know.
It's like really crazy.
And like the fact that like I actually talked to some of these people.
Yeah.
Like there were people I did not talk to, and I was like,
right. Like that's Michael.
Literally,
that's
like,
Michael. He's changed so much. Like it's actually
where did you
insane.
Come from?
I wasn't even. I wasn't even in this picture. Remember they didn't let me go?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was sad.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was like, well, there goes Evan. There goes Evan. And like she's not even in our institute anymore.
Jakelyn?
Yeah.
She's not even in this state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is like kind of crazy.
Yeah. Reminiscing.
No, not really. I'm happy to be where I am.
Me too.
Like, I'm not saying that it wasn't fun. I'm just saying I'm glad I am
Still,
where I am now.
it made us what we are.
Exactly.
Maybe not me. I wasn't there, but
a song. I just remember that I was cold.
What reminds you of freshman year?
Freaking Steve Lacy.
Steve Lacy?
That's all I listened to my freshman year.
Like, I wish I knew.
That
Yeah. That reminds me of freshman year too.
Yeah.
Okay, well that is all the pictures I have for you. So I'm just gonna ask you, what would you like to share with the people that they might not know about you?
I feel like I'm a very open book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So then, what's your message to the youth?
My message is always be who you are, and always put yourself as a priority.
Of course.
You should always be your number one priority because you can't take care of anybody else unless you take care of yourself.
That is great. You are full of quotes and insight.
Thank you.
Of course. So this was Brooklyn's game plan. This is Evan's game plan, but never lose your game plan. And we're done.